Hey y'all, this is your girl, Dolly Hagler, and I am the host of Dolly Said It Podcast. Now, for the ones that don't know me, I am your go-to girl for everything growth, okay? Per the usual. All right. But anyway, I want to go ahead and jump into the topic on today. Today we are talking about healing yourself. Now, last week, y'all know we talked about radical accountability and things like that, and we went over some steps on how to get to that place, right? Of being able to be radical accountable and understanding that you are responsible for your life, right? Um, all in all, right? You're responsible for your life, for your emotions, all that good stuff. So today I want to discuss the step one, which is healing yourself. And if y'all know me, y'all know that is something that I talk about a lot, right? About really healing yourself, working on yourself. You know, healing is a consistent thing. It is not a thing that you do one time, because we're always triggered in life, right? By the things that surround us, situations, people, things like that. So we really want to put our focus on healing ourselves, right? That is one of the big things in being accountable, right? Radical accountability. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right. So, step one of that radical accountability portion was about healing. Now I know for myself personally, I am a healer. That is what I do. I also have classes. I have a healing journal for women. I am coming out for the, coming out with the men's. Don't worry, I did not forget about y'all. But I do have these things these tools rather that can help you heal. So the first thing I want to talk about is what exactly is healing, right? So healing is identifying with places in you that you need to understand. So like your triggers, what causes you to be triggered, right? So like, say for instance, if somebody says something to you and you're angry, you're upset, it makes you emotional and things like that. The healing portion of that is finding out why, right? And how to I guess change what happens when you're triggered by it, right? Like, what is your reaction? Changing your reaction to the triggers in which you're experiencing. So healing is identifying and not being in denial. I can say a lot of people are in denial, right, about their triggers, about their issues and things like that. The first step is to healing. You can't be in denial. Okay, you can't be in denial. You have to be honest with yourself in regards to your issues. Like, there's no way around that. And so that is the first step in healing, in my opinion. Now, again, these are my opinions. All right. I feel like that's what you have to do. You have to be honest with yourself. A lot of people don't want to do that, but it is time to say, hey, this is a problem because it's showing up in too many different ways. This is an issue. So let it not be an issue anymore, right? Let's really go all in and figure out what's triggering us, right? So that's what we want to do. Um, for me, in my space, in my time of healing, which I said is not a one-time thing. You heal all the time. Healing is consistent. You're always going to heal because you're always going to be triggered. So you're always going to have to go back and understand those triggers and things like that. So what I do is, when it comes to healing, right, I look at all the things that trigger me, right, and I write them down, and I go back and I say, why do they trigger me? Why, what is the emotion behind it, right? Because we associate a lot of our emotions with anger, right? A lot of our emotions are not anger. We just don't know how to express them, right? Because it could be embarrassment. It could be um let me see, you can feel disrespected, you can feel, so like, all emotions are not anger, but that's where a lot of us revert to. We're angry. No, you're actually hurt, right? That's what that is. And hurt turns into anger and things like that, and so now it's just a buildup. But the true underlining issue is that you're hurt, right? So identifying what those triggers are. You felt abandoned, things like that. So you really want to take your time and work through the healing process to understanding yourself. So that is step number one. Now, again, ways to heal, in my opinion, is, accepting yourself is number one. You have to accept where you are. You also have to forgive yourself. You have to understand that you allowed things because that's what you knew at the time. And you hadn't reached a level of maturity to say, hey, that's enough, which it does take some of us a little bit longer than others to, be honest with ourselves and say, hey, this is really not good. This is really not something that I need to be a part of or I should allow in my life. Whatever the case may be, it does happen. So I say that to say, when we are healing, we have to give ourselves grace, right? Because we didn't ask to be here. None of us asked to be here. We're here, right? We're here to deal and live and go through the things that we are here to go through and learn from. So never beat yourself up about the things that you've been through. Just understand it's a part of your journey, and we have to accept our journey, right? We have to appreciate our journey because that is why we are where we are, right? So accepting yourself is one thing. Forgiving yourself is another thing, which is a really, really big thing. And don't give up on what's important to you, right? You got to stay motivated. You got to push forward, even in your bad days. And again, those days where you are triggered, just analyze it, right? Break it down and say, why? Why did that trigger me like that? Focus on you. The healing process is a selfish process. This is not about anybody else but you. So in this time, this is about you being selfish and really diving into you, pouring into you, understanding you. The focus is solely on who? You. Okay, cool. I'm glad we understood. So you got to really look into yourself. This is not a time for anybody else. This is not a time to be dating. This is really a time for you to get to know you, right? And spend time with you. And even when it comes to dating, a lot of reasons why a lot of these relationships aren't working. And y'all know this is not a relationship show. However, though, I am going to touch on the subject lightly. You got to understand that a lot of people are walking into these relationships and they are not healed at all. Okay. They are very much broken. They're carrying a lot of baggage from their past, whether that's childhood, whether that was whoever they dated, baby mama, baby daddy, ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever. A lot of people are coming broken. So I feel like a lot of people need to start taking the time out to heal. When y'all try to get into these relationships and they are falling apart because a lot of y'all are not healed. Y'all don't want to, and y'all want to use that y'all excuse to be not so nice people. Okay. So really take this time to focus on yourself. And I can't stress that enough because I know I've tried to be in relationships and date people, and I'm just not I'm mentally, emotionally, I know that I'm not there, but I'm trying to anyway. I think that's why a lot of us go with it, and that's what we fail because we're not healed. So work on that, y'all. Again, I know that ain't the space on Thursdays. That's on Wednesdays, but really take this time to focus on yourself, heal yourself, work on yourself, get yourself together before you try to jump in and be with anybody else. Get you together. All right. So again, that's accepting yourself, that's forgiving yourself, giving yourself grace. You also want to listen to yourself. A lot of us don't listen to ourselves. I think a lot of us don't even know how to trust ourselves. And so we don't listen to ourselves. Our intuition, our discernment, things like that. We need to really start opening our ears up to that. And I think some of us are scared to believe that what we're saying to ourselves is true. And I know it probably sounds a little delulu, and that's okay. That's okay. But if we really take the time out and look at how everything is in the world, right? Like a lot of us got to be a little bit crazy to believe in a higher power, right? So why would you not why are you fearing believing in yourself and trusting in yourself? But we believe there is a God, or whoever it is that you praise. It's a little delulu, right? Okay, cool. So it's okay to believe in yourself. It's okay to trust in yourself and listen to yourself. It's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. That is the part of the healing process, learning how to listen to you, hear you. You can hear everybody else, but sometimes it is for you to listen to you. All right. Be kind to yourself. A lot of y'all be too hard on yourselves. Listen, you do not heal overnight. Okay. You are not going to be not triggered overnight. Like when I tell y'all to this day, and I don't care how much work I've done on myself. Things very much trigger the hell out of me. Real bad. Okay. Real bad. I be having moments. Okay. But I will never allow, because I know my growth, I will never allow certain things to trigger me to the point of where I used to be. Because I ain't even gonna hold y'all. All right. It's been times when, people didn't feel like they could disrespect me and say what they want to say and treat me however, and I'm popping off. All right. I'm popping off. But now, in my healed space, in my growth, in my maturity, I'm not even taking it there. All right. I don't want to fight every time I feel like I'm being disrespected. I'm not doing that. That's not where I'm going with it, right? I'm understanding why I'm feeling that way about the situation. I'm understanding why I'm triggered. What is the trigger? Why am I feeling triggered? And I move through it. I work through it, right? That's what I do. That's what you do when you get to that space of healing, right? So yeah, trust yourself, be kind to yourself, understand yourself. Figure out, like I said before, figure out the why behind everything, right? Your thoughts and your emotions, understanding you and why you feel that way. Why do you internalize certain things? Why do you take things so personal when they're not? Those are the things that you want to look at in the healing process. So, that's what you want to focus on. Another thing too, I feel like we really have to learn how to love ourselves again. Like it's so easy for us to love someone else, but it's harder for us to love us. And I feel like that's a problem. I feel like we get so wrapped up in loving everybody else and everything else but ourselves. And I feel like, again, the focus needs to be put back on you. In this process of healing, it is very selfish. This is not for anybody but you. And I cannot stress that enough. This time is not for anybody but who? You. Okay, so you're going to focus on who? You. Okay, cool. Glad we got that out the way. But that is the first step, understanding understanding your healing, right? Understanding your journey and what do you want to get out of your journey. Acknowledging your emotions, and not being judgmental, right? When you're healing too, you'll see a lot of people will start to shift that's around you, right? Because a lot of people aren't there yet. And that's okay. Respectfully, everybody's journey is different. Some people may want to heal, some people may not. Again, a lot of people use all of their traumas and stuff as their crutch to be who they are because they don't want to change, right? But if you really want to change, again, this is a space for you. Let's get into it. Yeah, so accept yourself, treating yourself nice, being kind to yourself, talking goodness over yourself. If you are into spiritual practices, focus on that, learning how to meditate, learning how to speak good into yourself, words of affirmation. You want to have those you want to do things that help you pour into you, right? Whether that's reading a book, going outside, getting grounded, going to the water, writing, whatever it is, find your peace, right? So that you can heal in that space. And really truly get into you and being good for you and creating that space for yourself. Excuse me, y'all. This pollen got me going crazy. And again, some of this is easier for some and not as easy for others. And if you feel like doing it on your own may not be ideal for you, that's okay, because that's what you have a therapist for. Get yourself a therapist. Like, really get down to the nitty gritty. I want y'all to get real down and dirty when it comes to this healing process thing. Like, it's not a game. Like you really want to get into it. Get into it. Okay. What else would I like to say in regards to the healing process? It's a lonely process. It's a dirty process. And when I say dirty, I mean, baby, a lot of things will come up that you just was not ready for, and you just gotta be ready for it. It gotta be talked about. It gotta be addressed. You gotta lay it all out. Like, it's okay. And when I tell y'all the healing process really does get dirty, it gets dirty. I know when I first started my journey back in 2021. Nope, I take that back. I actually started my healing journey back in 2019 after I had my daughter. The first people I got into was outside of myself was my parents. I was like, listen, y'all, this is how I feel. This is why I think this is like this, and allowing them to understand, because that was a part of my healing, being honest with myself, being honest with my parents and the people that were around me, living in my truth. And, you know, that was one of the things that I needed to do for my healing. Um, Talking about things that I felt very uncomfortable with talking about after I had my daughter, I promise y'all, it was a lot of things that kind of just came up like projectile vomit. And I mean things that I thought I would never say out of my mouth, but I was like, this is a part of my healing and I can't be afraid of it. I gotta just say, I gotta say it, but in a place of being safe now, because let me tell y'all, it's okay, to want to hear and walk through and have somebody listen to you, but be mindful of who you are telling your business to, because baby, it can be used against you. Okay. Some people are not there to help you. They are there to really intake what you got to say so they can go run and tell that. So be, in this healing process, when you're healing, you don't have to vent to everybody. Find you somebody solid. If you're not gonna go through to a therapist, find somebody that you feel comfortable and you feel safe with, and is not a go and run tell that type of person, right? And if you don't have anybody like that, I would definitely say get you a journal, get you a recorder, whatever it is, get it. Okay. So you can just say it out loud and get it out of your head, get it out of your mind, get it out of your heart, your soul, whatever the case. Find that thing that works for you, because journaling may not work for everybody, but maybe having daily recordings or whatever, weekly recordings, maybe that works for you. So do whatever works for you. But in the healing process, yes, it did get a little dirty. And it does get dirty. And that's okay. That is to be expected. Um, but it's a serious thing, and again, healing comes with a level of maturity. A lot of people just not quite there yet, and it's okay. Baby steps, y'all. You can use baby steps. You can take baby steps. Nobody is rushing you through this process. Take your time. Um, but yeah, that's the first step when it comes to radical accountability is healing. That's what you really want to focus on. I don't know what happened, y'all. My internet is being weird. Sorry about that. But yeah. So I want you to take these steps, and I want you to take this week to do it, to start working, to working on getting to that place of healing yourself, so that radical accountability is understood. All right. And then next week we will hop into episode 4 will be step 2 on radical accountability and steps on doing that or getting to that place. I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. I enjoy this. I love y'all. Don't forget, I will be putting the form up for the Dolly Hugs. I have not done that yet. I'm sorry, y'all. I am behind. I have just been moving and shaking for a while now. I've been on vacation and all this kind of stuff, but that is no excuse at all. I will have a form on there for the Dolly Hugs. And again, Dolly Hugs are, maybe you just need to, maybe you need me to say something nice to you, right? Maybe you need some uplifting for today or that day or whatever, we'll just leave it at that. But the form will be on there by next Thursday. So you can start submitting them next week. I will put that on my Instagram. When I do upload the form, I will let y'all know that the form is up. And if you want to just get your own personal word, I got your back. But anyway, y'all, that's my time. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I will see y'all next Thursday. And again, this is your host, Dolly Hagler, and this is the Dolly Said It podcast. I am your go-to girl for all things growth. Okay. And you can find me on IG at _Dolly Said It. Okay. You can find me on Facebook. Same thing, Dolly Said It. And yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see y'all next week and see what y'all have learned. Slide in the DMs. Under one condition. Y'all better tell me that y'all worked on something this week. And if you didn't, I'm not responding. I'm just saying, I am giving y'all permission to slide in my DMs only to see if y'all did y'all homework. Other than that, do not slide in my DMs. Okay. That's it. That's all. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.